Aloha, this is Richard Halverson, and this is ITS 387P. And in this video, I think probably a series of 3 videos here. I'm going to show you how to do assignment. One way of doing assignment 2. And so you should have already created your website and all, and from assignment 1. Here we're just going to dive in, and I we're actually going to do this. We're going to do this section right here where we're going to create a member registration form along with a login, and then the database, the table of Toastmasters is here. Now, so the existing, and we are exporting or transitioning the older system into this newer system. It's taking a website that uses a tab delimited spreadsheet as its database. This is you can paste this into Excel, and we will in a moment. And it has this registration page. It looks like this, and we are going to convert it so this table is in an SQL database, and the form here matches, basically has the features of this YouTube video here, this create registration and login form YouTube video, which is about 30 minutes long. It's a series of 3 videos. And so what I'm going to do here is, first of all, I'm going to get the registration form, just like the YouTube video. I'm going to get that to work. Okay.
I have.
And so you can watch the series of 3 videos, and you should be able to do it. Um, but I'm going to do that part in this video, and then the next video I'm gonna show you how to take this tab delimited spreadsheet here and create and do the database portion of it. And then the third video is I'm going to take what we created here and adapt it so it interfaces with this registration table. And that will pretty much complete what we need to do over here. And you'll see it's pretty simple. Okay, so what I've done for this assignment is I searched the web. I searched the web for this guy, and I found a non-video version of his tutorial. And so I think he links to it in one of the pages, or one of the versions of his tutorial. But so if you click here, we see this is it's a complete user registration system using PHP and a MySQL database. So I'm going to go through this and show you how to do this and how to get it to work on your server. Okay, so let's log into my server. I'm going to get rid of this and this. Mine is Richard H. That, and that's my website. Your website should look something like that. And so I'm going to go to cPanel, and you can create a separate website for this if you'd like. But here I'm just going to make it as a directory in my main website. Okay, so first of all, so I'm going to go to File Manager here, and I'm going to create a new. You go into public HTML, and this is where you are when you go straight to the website. Let's see, let's do that. Straight here. So this is our website, and this is the file manager for it. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder called Toastmasters. So I clicked right up here on folder, typed in Toastmasters, and now I've got a folder here called Toastmasters. And if I go back to my website and refresh, You see there it is. All right. So now I'm going to go in Toastmasters and I'm going to follow the instructions here. Okay, the first thing he does is you read this, and the first thing he does is he creates this registration database. Okay, so first of all, you have to create the database. So let's go back to our cPanel and click on MySQL databases, and let's create a database called registration. Create database, and then we're supposed to create a table called users, and it's going to have these fields in it. And so when you and this is another way of showing the fields. It shows the correlation and the uh, the field types and so on, auto increment. But they provide a nice create table statement for us to use. So let's use that create table statement. So I'm going to copy this, copy, and then I'm going to go over here, and I just created this database. And so let's go back to to cPanel and click on phpMyAdmin. And since I've created this registration database, now here it is, and you notice it's prefixed with my username. But anyway, go in here, click in there, and here we are. This is the my registration database, and I'm going to click on SQL, and I'm going to paste that create statement. Does this work? Control V. There it is. And click way over here. Click Go. And there we hit. Now I have my users table. Okay, I've done that part. And that's it for the database. Uh, let's see. I'm going to follow these directions. Create a folder called registration. Let's go back to where I was fooling around over here. Create a create a folder called registration. Oops, that's a file. I didn't mean. Let me delete this. Right click, delete. Right. Create a folder called registration. And go in here. And so now I've done that. And we're going to make these files. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess they want us to create these files. So let's do that. I'm going to pop this out and make it smaller. And I'm going to go back to here and make this smaller. Okay, so I'm in, where am I? I'm in registration. Okay, and it's empty. So let's go back over here. Let me hit refresh here, and here's registration, and it's empty. Okay, so let's create these files here. All right, first one is file errors.php, file index.php, and login.php, and register.php, and server.php, and style.css. And register.php looks like this. Okay, so I'm going to go into register.php. How do I open this? Edit. And so I'm going to take all this out, copy it, Shift copy, and I'm going to go over here and do a Control V to paste it. Okay, that looks good. Let's save the changes. And now when I go over here and I hit refresh inside registration, I should have is it, where did I paste this? Oh, that's right, okay. Let me go back. Refresh, registration. The problem is that I have this index.php file here that's doesn't it's blank, and so that's what we're seeing. So temporarily, I'm going to rename this index2.php just temporarily. So when we go back here and hit refresh here, I can see all my files. All right. So let's so I've copied. Oh, now let me try. I just pasted in register.php. Let me click on that, and it looks like this. Okay. We'll see how the CSS fixes that up. All right. This file here, we haven't pasted that in yet. All right. So what's next? Should read that. Okay. Here's the CSS file. Let's paste that in now. I go back here and go on style.css and edit that and edit and then paste all this. Copy, paste, and that looks good. Let me save that. And now when let's go over and refresh this register, and oh, that looks much better. All right, so that's what the register page looks like. And then I can probably close the CSS file. Let me close the register file. What's next? Now the form looks beautiful. All right, server.php. Okay, this is kind of tricky. Okay, let's open up server.php. Edit. And so let me copy this over here. Down to here, which means there's going to be more. Copy. Control V, paste. And some more stuff here. Here, this stuff. This is the login user stuff here. So this is the end of server.php. Now what this does, what server.php is it's at the top of all these other files, you'll notice. And this does all the interaction with the database. So all the interaction with the database is inside this server.php file, so it's all isolated. And so that way, you know, you localize those functions. All right, so let's go back up to where we were. This is the first part of server.php, and this is the errors. This is the errors.php file. Let me copy this. Copy. Go to errors. Paste. Save changes. Gotta make sure I save my changes. And okay, so that's it for registration. Okay, so when it's all pasted, I'll go over this code. Oh, I'll especially go over this code when we modify these pages for the Toastmasters registration table. right now, let's just get this running. All right, this is server.php, and so what else is there? Errors, and I pasted in the login part. Oh, what is this? Oh, this is the login. This is the login form. Okay, so let me copy this. Copy, login. Okay. And okay, that's it. Oh, this is index.php. Okay, this is index.php. So I'm going to grab this, shift copy, and go over to here and go to index2. I'm going to rename this now back to index, and let me open it and paste this in there. All right, here we go. Okay, so I've pasted in all the pages, and now I need to do some configuration here. So this is the regular index page. Let's see what that might look like. Looks like this. Oh, looks like I had that stuck in my cookie. All right, so this is the login page, and this is the sign up page, and this is the sign in page. Okay. The trouble is this is not going to work because the server file is not configured up. Okay. Let's see. I thought I had a problem when I was first trying to get this running. Oh, I think I know what it was. Okay. All right. So all the rest of the pages are fine. They're all standalone. They're ready to go. They don't interface to the database at all. You see. They just interface to the other part. They have a couple cookies in here that we'll get to. Errors, index, login, register, server style. Okay, so let's configure the server page here because we have our database. All right, session start. That sets up these cookies as session variables that can be passed from page to page. Initialize these variables. This is an errors array. Okay, here we go. Mysql Connect. This is localhost. That's fine. You got to put your username here. And my username. Oh, you can just put your regular username. And you got to put your password in here. And then here, the database is registration database, but you have to put your username in front of it. RCHARDH underscore like that. This is how you define or declare your registration database. Now you can go ahead and create a database user if you want. In fact, I think I'm going to do that because otherwise I reveal the password. I could put right here is the password. I could put the password to my cPanel. I could put the cPanel password, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to make a separate little user here called, I'm going to call the user, add a new user. I'm going to call it user1. And the password is going to be password. I'm going to use this password generator. That's a nice password. Copy this. And then, yes, I've copied it to a safe place. Use the password. Okay, I'm going to use the I thought I made the username the user1. Make sure that doesn't happen to you. And then you say, create user. Ooh, I should be able to paste it because I copied it. create user. All right, so now I've created Richard H. user 1. No. And now I go back and I have the registration database, and I've got this user. Oh, I also that's from before. I also have this user 1, and so I'm going to use user 1. But to use user 1, I got to connect. I got to add the user to the database. So I'm going to add user 1 to the registration database. Add, and I'm going to give user 1 all the privileges. You should think about that, but we'll get to that later. Make the changes, and so now I have this user called user 1, and let's go back. And user 1 is connected to the registration, to your registration database. So now when we go back over here, you can put Richard H underscore user 1, because that's the username, and this is our password that we just created, and this is the database. Okay, so this is the local host, or you can put your domain name in there. This is the database user. This is that user's password, and this is the actual database that you're trying to connect to. All right, so once that's set up, let's go down. This is the part of the code where it processes database requests to register a user. And this thing detects if the submit button was pressed when you're registering the user. If you go back to register.php and you edit that, you see that this submit button is, the name of it is reg user, and that comes in here, and if reg user is set, then it does these things. And these are, first we escape out the funny characters that'll mess up the an insert in case there's funny characters inside here, and does that for all those. It does an error. It checks to see to make sure that all these fields are there, and it also checks to make sure the two passwords are the same, and if they're not, it pushes errors. And here it actually checks to see if it already exists, if the user already exists. And if the user does already exist, it pushes another error. Or if the email already exists, it pushes another error. If everything's fine, if there's no errors, then it encodes the password and inserts our new user into the database. All right. And then it redirects back to index.php, which is the main file. All right, so save these changes. And I don't know if it's going to be this simple, but let's try it. I'm not a member, so I'm going to say username Jane. That's a nice username. Email jane@doe.com. Password 12345. Confirm password 12345. Register. Welcome, Jane. Okay, so if we go to our database, which is here, and we refresh users, well, look at that. There's Jane. All right, I think I have done. Okay, so we have to still test it to make sure the rest of the stuff works. Okay, so I'm going to log out, and now and let me go to the home page here. Here's the login page, and I should be able to do Jane 1 2 3 4 5. No, 1 2 3 4 6. Oh, wrong. Jane 1 2 3 4 5, and I'm logged in. All right, so that is the first part of our assignment here, where we want to get this thing to work, and And so now we're finished with the video. We've completed what the YouTube video is. Next, I'm going to upload this tab delimited spreadsheet into a database called Toastmasters. And then the last video is we'll modify what we just did, modify that for registering a new Toastmaster. All right, thanks for watching.